Hello, good afternoon.
Hi everybody, good afternoon, welcome aboard. It's good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
We are Lizzie and Sean and we are stitching live today.
Stitching live today. That's Lizzie in the big window. This is Sean in the small window if you're joining us for the first time.
Yes.
And we're going to stitch live.
Yes, we are with Pashta Design.
Oh, that's right.
I should probably mention that.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to go ahead and show you how to use the Just Hatched Details die today.
Ooh, the Just Hatched Details die.
Yes.
I feel like there's a whole mashup of consonants there. I've got to work on it.
You know,
Just Hatched.
sometimes I get a little verbose when I'm naming these things.
Just Hatched.
Just Hatched.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today.
Hi Nancy, hi Tanya.
Hello.
Hello.
So these are the parts of the die.
Hang on a second, let me help you out. I'll get the parts of the die so you can see that better.
Okay.
Okie dokie, there. Those are the parts of the die.
These are all the pieces of the die. This is the basic egg. The basic egg is required to use with, well, I guess you don't have to have it, but it's, for what we're going to do today, you have to have the basic egg. The idea is that these base plates cut the holes. Let me grab part of my project here. They cut these holes so you can perfectly line up your shells. And you can do top shell, bottom shell, or this is the way that the chick looks when he's all in his shell there. Or there's an opening here, and we're going to use this in a slightly different way today. I'm doing two little ornaments.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the basic concept behind the different pieces in this die. But again, you need to use the basic egg.
Pull that basic egg down a little bit. I can only see the bottom 80% of it. There we go. The basic egg die.
There's the basic egg die.
Mm-hmm.
We are planning to have these back in stock very, very soon. We do still have some of the Just Hatched dies, but the basic eggs will be back shortly. So you can sign up for notification on our website if that's something that's interesting to you. And you'll get an email as soon as those are back in stock. So let's get to the project, shall we?
Yeah, by my quick count just now in the web store, there are no fewer than 10 add-on detail dies that coordinate with the basic egg die. So we have
a lot of
if
things.
you didn't know how many Easter options you might have, we have loads and loads of Easter.
Not just Easter.
Yes, of course.
Because the winter pine cone also coordinates.
Oh my gosh, I forgot the winter pine cone. So there are 11 different dies that we provide that can accentuate your basic egg.
It's a great basic to have.
It's a great basic to have.
I have a trick for making sure that I am lining up.
Hey, Michelle's really excited that she got to make the live today with a big thumbs up.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
So this egg.
Huh?
When you go to cut your holes there, you know, the bottom is rounded, so you could accidentally get it off.
You got to move that to the left a little bit. To the left, to the left.
Heard that?
Yow!
It would be easy to make it crooked.
Uh-huh.
So what I like to do is when I'm getting it placed, I put both pieces on at first before I die cut. I put both pieces on just to make sure it's in the right place. Then I take off the top bit here. And usually use a bit of Post-it tape or something to hold that down before I run it through. That way I know that my egg is going to be in the lines are going to be in the right place for my shell to line up properly.
Got it.
So there's a little tip for you.
That's a great tip, and I went ahead and added that into the show description. So if you're here today and you're not following along live, maybe you're watching the show a little bit later, and all you want is like, give me the instructional tips.
Give me the highlights.
Yeah, the guy in the plaid shirt, I could use less of him. I just want the instructions. Check out the description, okay? I've got a little time code in there pointing you right in the right direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are going to make the chick popping out of the shell.
Okay.
So
hatching,
yes.
The chick is just hatched.
The chick is just
out of the shell.
Hatched.
That's the just hatched part.
Yes. So we need wings.
Oh, wings.
I've done one wing for the sake of time.
You've stitched one wing together.
I have stitched one wing together.
Okay.
And And I'm going to stitch the other wing here.
That's great. I'm poking out holes, everybody. I have a project today that is not egg related.
He
so
has his own
we'll be
prize winner.
Stitching live my own prize winner. At least I will if I can get all the holes poked out. There's a lot of consternation about whether or not the holes could get poked before the video would start today. The answer is no.
I didn't concern. I was just curious. That was on your
That
radar.
was internal consternation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't implying that you were the source.
Well, I did imply that Sean was the source of the nagging that got the needles threaded. So
if you're following along on Instagram, that's right. We convinced Lizzie to thread up some of her needles before the show started today.
I did.
And we did that for you in the interest of time.
There's a good chance that I will lose the thread and have to rethread at some point. But for now, we're just doing a running stitch here on these details first.
A little simple running stitch.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Look out. Who's not silencing their laptop? That's what I want to know. What are you talking about?
That's who that is.
We're using my loosely with this laptop. Okay, great. There we go.
Well, you're the guy in charge of that particular piece of technology today.
Now, is there any secret to starting with the wing where you're doing the running stitch or not?
I do all interior bits first. I usually start towards the center because then your knot is not on the edge. You don't have to deal with the knots on the edge.
Uh-huh.
And
they are tiny little wings. It's a great little place to get started, right?
Yeah,
they're
little bitty wings.
Little bitty wings.
I think they are bigger than the ones on the turkey trot.
Mary Kobe in the house. What's up, Mary?
Hi, Mary.
Good to see you, Mary. And I mean in the chat, of course.
Yeah, so these little wings, they stitch up pretty quickly.
Uh-huh.
And you could, if you wanted to make them positionable, use like either a little piece of pipe cleaner or some sort of like floral wire on the inside.
I'm not familiar with pipe cleaners. I am familiar with chenille sticks. Is that what we're talking about?
Stems.
Chenille stems. Okay, great. So that's what we're talking about.
You could use those.
I don't want to have to put a warning on this video that says contains tobacco descriptions. Okay, I'll drop that into the description if I have to. What would you do with them?
You could use them to make them positionable.
Uh-huh.
If you didn't want them to just stick straight out, if you wanted them to be able to move the...
I don't think you've done that. Have you done a just hatched with positionable wings inside?
Not a just hatched, but I've done other things with positionable.
Yeah, I know.
Extremities.
I just know that you haven't done one with the wings. Now it makes me want to go find a chenille stem right now and talk you into it. Not that I'm really going to do that thing.
No,
not going to do that thing. No.
Okay, so you always want to do your interior details before you do your exterior perimeter.
Uh-huh.
Because if you don't do the interior details, then you will have a much harder time hiding your thread, your knots, and your ends.
Got it. Okay, so you start on the inside. That's completely the opposite of how I would start if I did not know how to stitch. And by the way, I don't know how to stitch these days.
Working it out.
I have done one project. The second one is in my hands as we speak. Shari says this would be cute as a blue or a pink bird.
It would. It totally would. I'm just doing, your basic chick right now because I try to come up with cute projects without overthinking it. I could definitely overthink it, but that was, sorry, I didn't think to mention, that was 742 that I used on the details there.
For what color was that?
That's the color I used for Clementine.
Yeah, wait, this isn't Clementine. This is Clementine.
That's Clementine.
So you just used the thread 742 DMC thread.
Yes.
To go along with this orangey felt that we have here.
Yes, and the yellow that I'm using today is 726.
There's not a color story associated today with...
Not really. I mean, these two colors are together in Egg Hunt, and they're together in Spooky Season.
I'm just trying to tell people you're on your own here for the colors, okay?
No,
just make them egg-like, chick-like.
It's just... sometimes I like switching things up and I don't want to be tied specifically to a color story.
You don't want to be shackled by your own color story creation.
This is
shackled.
It's not the word I would have chosen.
It's, choose your own, choose your own ending here. Choose your own adventure, yeah.
Again, we're just doing a running stitch around the perimeter of the wing, but you don't have to do these interior this straight edge here, because those are going to get sewn into the sides of the chick. So you don't have to stitch that part for right now.
Look at all these holes I've poked out. I am just knocking it down over here. Just going berserk right now. Just stitching a little prize winner over here. I don't know if people can't see my hands, so I guess I could hold this up a little higher in front of my nose if you really wanted to. You know, that's where that comes from.
Yes, Sean is making himself a prize winner, or he's making someone a prize winner ribbon.
Yeah, if you're working on a project right now, be sure to drop that in the chat so that we know what's going on out there with your in your land in your afternoon today. Maybe some of you are at work. We get a lot of you playing hooky when you're here for Stitching Live. No, I'm pro hooky. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. What kind of prize winner were? Oh, what colors? Okay, Shari wants to know what colors. So I have. I'm doing a very straightforward. It's a red. It's gonna be a red ribbon, a cardinal ribbon, if you will, Shari, and then the little rosette parts are going to be. This is daffodil. Is that we decided? It's in daffodil,
which is coincidentally the color of the chick today.
The color of the chick today, right? And then I'm actually using the monogram numerals die in order to make my prize winner the number 11. Right here, number 11. There, I'll hold that up towards the camera, although you're probably not going to be able to see it all that closely. So those are the colors that we're working with. It's like red, black, and yellow. Yeah. But now I can't even figure out where my paperclip went, Shari. So I'm trying to do two things at once here. It's easier than it looks, harder than it looks. Okay, back to poking out my holes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm almost done here with the wing.
I can see that on the wing. So you've got the wing and you're holding it above the next part. So when the wing is done, are you going to be getting the egg put together?
I'm going to sew the... Yes.
You're going to sew the bottom cracky part of the egg?
Yes.
Okay. This is another situation where if you're wondering which came first, the chicken or the egg came first.
At least it did in Pashtaland.
In the Pashtaverse. What just happened?
I unthreaded.
Did you unthread the needle?
Yes.
That's okay. We can pause. We're taking a 20-second timeout to get that
20
needle.
20 seconds?
20-second timeout to get that needle put back on there. Yeah.
Gracious. Do I really take 20 seconds?
I have no idea. Would you like me to run the stopwatch?
No, I would not.
I have the time code right here in front of me.
Turns out I used a giant-eyed needle for this particular color, so it went back on pretty quickly. Okay.
There you go.
So that's the wing.
Let me see the wing. Show me the wing.
Wing.
That's great. Look at that. We've got eggs and wings around here. We got it all. Mm-hmm.
Right. And yes, so Sean mentioned I was going to put the cracky part, the eggshell, onto the chick next.
Yeah, I love how I called it the cracky part as opposed to just the shell.
The shell.
Which is what a normal person would call it. Have you tried using any of the egg details on this hashed eggs, like the polka dots or the stripes? Someone wants to know.
I was looking at that when I was trying to figure out what to do with this project.
Oh boy, there's my bald head again.
And generally speaking, I didn't see anything that would work.
I'm on the edge of my seat over here.
Well, like as it's currently designed, but I didn't look like super long because I was just trying to.
But you could if you wanted to. There's nothing that would prevent you from like polka dotting a just hashed egg or something like that?
You could try. I think that the concern that I would have is that the shell would interact with like some of the circles or some of the stripes. I did look for sure at the embroidered eggs and was having a hard time figuring out if any of those would work. Because you have parts of it that would, and then parts of it that just interact with this stuff too much. What?
Shari says she's sorry because she's asking the hard-hitting questions today.
No, it's fine. It's
the
fine.
hard-boiled questions today, Shari.
Here's what you...
Come on, how are you just going to run past that one?
Here's what you could do.
What could you do?
You could freehand with, like, some of the dots and stuff. Like, you could put, like, the semicircles on for sure.
That poor chick
and,
is
and
like...
add on some dots.
The poor chick is like, I was just born, and now you also want polka dots? You want stripes too? Like, I am new life emerged onto this earth. I would like to
talk about a real thing here for a second.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
So when you're doing something like this ornament is going to have a front and a back. You kind of need to mirror the two pieces, which you don't have to do anything special. You just need to use, these are technically the back, the wrong sides. You're facing them out, because that way when you sandwich them together, things meet up properly on the sides. So if you're doing an egg or a chick like this, that you're leaving this, that you want this to be decorated as well, you're not just doing a solid egg on the back, you're going to want to mirror the shell, so that way that they'll meet up correctly on the sides.
Okay.
So, but yes, I suppose if you wanted to add some other decorative elements, you could. You could.
Or maybe you have that relative who can never kind of get their Easter egg dyeing game right, and you want to leave the eggy off that just hatched. You just want to give them a cracked egg that has
sure,
has polka dots and stripes. That could be it.
There you go. I was making a joke earlier that our eggs are probably cheaper than the ones you get in the grocery store this year.
Oh, look out. Hang on a second there. We talking about eggs. Talking about eggy eggs.
So you might as well just make some eggs, and then they'll last for years anyway.
There you go, eggs. I've almost finished poking all these holes out over here.
Good for you.
And then I'm gonna come begging at your table for thread. Well, I like a needle as well, if it's not too much trouble.
It is trouble.
You're gonna make me ask for the needle and the thread separately? Oh my gosh, the conditions around here. Oh my Lord.
Oh golly. So we're just doing another running stitch here. All the way across.
If you hear another sound during the video today, that's me watching our own prize winner how-to video so that I can remember how to stitch together the prize winner. It's been a few weeks.
I'm right here.
Mary Kobe's laid out an egg-shaped Santa mouse using the polka dots as ears and paws, still working out the other details like the toaster tart frosting tail. That sounds amazing, Mary.
I can't wait.
I'm literally looking at the dies myself going like, please, just do what they do. Just like make them what they do. I don't need them to do anything different or fancy or special.
No, I love when they do different fancy special things.
Nancy V's in the house. Oh my gosh. Hi, Nancy. Thanks for saying hey. Thanks for the wave.
I was thinking about this the other day. I don't have a ton of time for this, but
go ahead.
I bet I could make the Nutcracker a leprechaun by next week.
You think you could make the Nutcracker a leprechaun by next week?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm willing to try.
I'll be gone this weekend. You're still going to be able to polish that off, huh?
Yeah.
That was I'm having such a hard time with that. I had to put my hands on top of my head. I feel like I'm at the end of, I just ran 800 meters and I'm just sucking it in there.
I made him a Valentine soldier. Why can't I make him
Yes, you made him a soldier for love.
A soldier of love.
Yeah, a soldier for love.
He protects the heart.
Oh my gosh. The Pashtaverse is growing and growing now. We've got the love soldier in the chat. Okay, I do think I need a needle in yellow. Don't interrupt with your doing.
Okay.
Don't interrupt with your doing.
This is the yellow that you need, and there's needles poking into the needle book right now.
You're saying this yellow right here, 726?
Yes.
726 is our match for Daffodil.
Indeed.
Which was, we mentioned that maybe a little bit earlier.
Yeah, when I was doing the wing.
Shari says nutcrackers for every season. That's because around here, we're nuts every season of the year. That's why.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because I do want to use yellow on this bad boy, don't I?
Yep.
Okay, let me get these scissors out of the way there. Sorry, everyone.
You gotta sew the 11 on there, sir.
Yeah, I'm sewing the 11 on there first. I'm going to a convention this weekend that's being put on broadcast. I don't think that they're watching. No one at Elite Comics 11 is watching this live video, I don't think. No, but that's why I'm doing an 11, because the name of their Instagram handle is Elite Comics 11. So that's why the number 11 has come along and added on to this little guy right here. Okay, now I have to separate these threads out. I do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Okay, there it goes. Look at that.
I've got my I've got my, hey, can I bother you to do something, sir?
Yeah, what do you need?
I need you to plug in the hot glue gun, please.
Oh, no, we're hot gluing today.
Well, you wouldn't have to. I just decided it would probably be better.
One moment, everyone. I'm going to plug that in. One of these days, this power strip is going to call Uncle.
If they didn't want you to use it, they shouldn't have so many holes.
Do you really think that's the case?
Yes.
Is anybody here? I don't know if anybody can even hear me while I'm over here. Is anybody here an electrical engineer, or perhaps have a relative who is an electrical engineer?
If they didn't want you to use it, they shouldn't have put so many holes in
I'm
it.
not really sure that's I mean, I think you're right. I think that has to be the case, but I don't want it to be the case. That seems crazy to me. That the power strip people are like, go ahead. Every plug all the time. Shari says it's so nice to have an assistant. You could have one too, Shari. You just have to talk to that special someone in your life. Okay, I'm going to take this needle, hoping that it isn't your favorite or whatever.
You know...
Why, it could be your favorite. I don't know what I'm doing right now.
No, it's not.
Okay, great.
I think... No, it's not.
What are you about to...
my favorite with the blue thread.
You've almost got that eggshell on there.
The eggshell is on there.
Oh my gosh, wow.
I'm putting on the beak here real quick.
Time flies when you're sweating about poking out holes, I'll tell you that much.
I'm telling you.
Okay, I've got to hold the back here for just a second. Or hold my tail, that's what it was,
Hold
right?
your tail.
Is that what's on the merch? Mm-hmm. That's what's on the merch,
There's
everybody.
Not actually merch.
There's no merch, at least not yet. We need more people emailing customer service.
Saying I would take a t-shirt.
I would take a t-shirt that says hold the tail. Yeah, that's great.
Which is actually an email we have gotten, which is hilarious, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so we're just going to go back around to get this little guy's beak on here. Again, this is 742.
742 for Clementine.
For Clementine. I'm using Clementine here for the beak.
The beak is such a small thing, too. It's nice. It's like, this is a great set because it gives you, like, extra details and a really fun way to use the egg, but it also does not have a million components to it.
No, they're not a million components.
No.
Well, because, like, how many parts of a chick are there, right?
I'm just saying it's a great way to embellish something that you might already have.
Thank you, Sarah.
Without a ton and ton and ton of other things.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm just going to tie this off back here.
Okay. And that's right there just like smack dab in the center of the egg, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, there's a little face die right here.
Okay.
Oh, wait, you can't see it.
I can't see that, but you can bring it down there. There's a little face die?
Yep.
That blows my mind. That's the face die, huh?
It is. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It adds the beak.
It adds the beak.
Adds some eyes.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So now we're going to put on some eyes.
I'll allow it.
I'm just going to use...
I never put myself back on. I've been over here just stitching and sweating. Ever since I got that hot glue gun has just blown up the whole thing this afternoon.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. This is the smitten... No, yes. This is the smitten bead set. I was looking for anything with like kind of light bluish kind of beads.
That's for the eyes of the chick?
For the eyes of the chick.
Do chicks have blue eyes?
I don't... Yes.
Oh, that went very quickly from I don't to yes.
They do here.
Okay. That's great. If you have a difference in opinion about the eyes of the chick and the just hatched, the chat is open for you right now. Go ahead. We encourage you to weigh in on it.
I don't encourage anyone to weigh in on it, actually. I have decided that they do have blue eyes, and I think they look cute.
That's that. I'm not so sure. We should ask Gigi about this.
You know what?
My family owned a chick hatchery. My great grandparents owned a chick hatchery or a couple of chick hatcheries. I don't know how much. I don't really know much about chick hatcheries myself. My understanding is that what they did, their whole business was getting eggs and incubating the eggs so that the eggs would hatch, and then they would sell the chicks to farms because farms apparently don't want to hatch their own eggs. So this whole business was just the hatchery.
Their slogan was food for freedom if you feed them.
That's right. That's right. So I don't know a lot about hatching chickens. I've never kept any chickens myself. The business was closed up, I think, in the 60s. So it was a long, long time ago, maybe 70s.
Maybe 70s.
My mom or my aunt might watch this later, and then they're going to text me and let me know how factually inaccurate
how off we are. Yeah.
Things were. But somewhere in my blood is the know-how.
Somewhere.
I prefer to think that it's in my heritage to be able to hatch chickens. I just have never had to in real life.
Indeed.
Yeah.
We don't go in for the husbandry so much ourselves.
Not so much ourselves, and so therefore I don't know what color a chick's eyes are.
You know what? Today, they're blue, or aqua-y.
Mary says chicks can have blue shells.
They can.
Uh-huh.
Because chickens can lay blue eggs.
Yeah, well, shells and... I don't know a lot about the anatomy of a chicken, but shells and eggs are different. Or eyes. Go on.
Whew. All right, so I'm going to add some little feathers up here, which is why we have the hot glue gun, because I was going to just sew them in, but then I was like, you know what? They could come out. So
what are you talking about? Where do the feathers come from?
I have a bag.
This is a total curveball. I didn't even say anything about feathers leading into this show today.
I got a bag of feathers.
Wow, everybody.
I've had this bag of feathers for, I'm not even kidding you, probably 15 years, and I just decided to grab a couple of them out.
Okay, bag of feathers.
Today.
Okay.
So we're just going to add a little fluff on the top here.
Uh-huh.
And then we're going to hang this ornament really high on the tree so the cats don't eat it.
People can't. You need to bring that, that needs to go on like a dark background. It's very hard to see what you're talking about. Flip that bad boy over for just a second. Oh, there they are.
There they are.
Look at that.
Just
okay.
Wow.
Feathers. Tiny little feathers are going to get hot glued onto this thing before you stitch it together.
I was going to do it, I was going to like poke them through with some hot glue on the ends, but I figured it would probably be easier if I just did it now. So.
Okay, well that's a time code. I'm entering that right now.
Just a little funny, fuzzy embellishment. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to sew around this top half of the egg first. I need some thread, and Sean has very generously cut a ton of yellow, so I'm going to probably use...
What's up, Miss Betty? Are you trying to be here today? Betty's in the chat, everybody. New cat Betty has entered the room. She would like to be live.
I did not thread this particular needle, so if he'll just give me...
That's okay. Moment. You do whatever you need to do. I've almost got the second number one here on this guy stitched together. I will not be finishing my project while we're stitching live today. I just want to make that very clear.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even start poking my holes until we got here.
Indeed.
The features are so cute. People are very excited about the fluff and features here that you brought to the table today.
Thank you.
Way to go. My expectations are exceeded.
I thought it would be fun to add some feathers. It'll be fun as long as one of the cats does not try to eat it off of the tree in the dining room.
Yeah, so the Valentine's tree has gone away.
Yes.
If you have been following along, we have a Valentine's tree of ornaments.
Yes.
And we shared this the other day, but it was in stories.
Yes.
That the Valentine's tree is gone and now the spring tree is here.
Okay.
Okay.
So, your wings can really go however high on the chick you want them to, but I'm going to make them come in right here, just a little bit. Not quite the bottom where the yellow starts, but close. So I'm going to come in here, in between the layers of felt, at the same hole where I started stitching the shell. Sorry, it's hard to see. There we go. Because you want to make sure there's not a gap.
You don't want to make sure there's not a gap where?
Between the white and the yellow. So I'm coming in here, essentially here, but I came between the two layers, so you don't see that I...
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, does it?
That's okay. I'm typing and trying to think and listen at the same time.
Okay. So I've got my first whole stitch in there, and now I'm going to tuck in my wing between, get it lined up where I want it.
Because you're stitching up the egg right now.
Yes. Yes, I am stitching up like the entire perimeter of this particular design.
Sure.
So you're making sure that you're holding your wing where you want it, making sure that you're lining up your holes.
Yeah.
With because the holes in the wing edge do line up with the holes in the side of the egg.
Yes.
And you're just...
And you had not stitched those earlier, as you described. You only stitched the interior pieces of the wing earlier.
Yeah, so these are the holes that it's going through.
Great.
Right here.
Okay. And as usual, at this part of the process is critical to get it started right.
Well, it's just the holes will line up. You just have to make sure you're getting through all the different layers.
Uh-huh.
It's always the first time is tricky on something like this, where you're adding in something along an edge.
Yep.
But then when you go back around the second time, it's just going to get all locked in even more.
I'm just trying to tie this off without puckering over here, so...
Heard that.
Because I did not clip my yellow thread in between the number 1 and the other number 1, like a real professional would have done. Right? This is the... I'm in the amateur hour table over here.
Well, you're fine.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
And there. I gotta snip my edges, though. And once you've sewn around this, the whole project is done.
Well, I'm going to stuff him.
Oh, you have to stuff him.
You don't have to, but
And
I'm gonna.
You're gonna stuff him.
Yeah.
And you did the beads on the front of this while we were stitching here live?
Yes.
Is that when we talked about blue beads?
Probably.
Oh man, I missed the time code on that. That's great. Whoa, hey, we've got Andy Newberry is back in the chat today, everybody.
Andy.
Andy, another character here in the Pashtaverse. Rogue Pashta Trivia. What color did Sean first dye his hair while in high school? That's a great question. It's actually a trick question. My hair was never dyed in high school. You could not have gone to my high school with dyed hair, it turns out. Yeah.
No.
There was no hair dye, Andy, until after we graduated. You were the one who dyed my hair, for crying out loud. How soon they do forget.
All right. I'm adding a hanger to the top of the egg here. So I just knotted a length of crochet thread, and I'm going to tuck it in at the very top there. I'm almost to the hole, so I figured I would mention it.
This is great. How to add a crochet thread hanger to the top of your egg ornament.
You're just going to, whoop, you're going to make sure you don't fold your feather in half.
Shari has guessed purple as to the color.
Shari is right.
Wow, Shari, look at that. The years blend together. Okay, now that I have this 11 on here, there's my 11, everybody. Look, I stitched that together live today with Lizzie and Sean. Isn't that amazing? So now I don't stitch this directly onto the black thing, do I?
Nope.
I stitch this onto the... Actually, what I'm going to do next is probably the tails.
Yeah, do your tails.
Do my tails next?
Yeah.
Can I have some cardinal thread, please?
Yes, one moment.
Okay, I'm going to wait. Shari for the win. 100 Newberry points to you. I'm going to be with Andy this weekend. We don't have to work out the details in the chat right now, but I'm actually going to be with at Andy's place here over the weekend.
Why, indeed.
Did Sean sport the purple hair while wearing the outrageous orange pants?
Probably.
There may have been some overlap at some point.
Was.
Yeah, I'm sure there was some
we didn't find a photo. We did look for one.
People asked to see an outrageous orange pant photo. If you are in that number, if you wanted to see them, unfortunately, we did not find a color photograph. I looked.
Yeah, well, yes.
I went through a whole box of photographs.
That's true.
And I did not find them. So I think the next best chance would probably be looking in the yearbook. And I have to like take a picture of a picture in the yearbook. Maybe in the color photo sections. That's as good as it's going to get. Okay. Trying to figure out how much thread I need here. Yeah, okay, we'll call that good. And I'm busting that out. Wow, you're just like already, and you're doing the running stitch again here, huh?
Yep.
So this is another day of just running stitch projects.
Most of them are. Yeah, most of them are.
You could backstitch.
You could. I don't, generally speaking.
That's right, because the running stitch is a faster stitch.
Well, it's fast, and it doesn't use as much thread.
It doesn't use as much thread.
Does it look like it's even on both sides?
You're asking, does what part look even on both sides?
The wing.
The wing? I don't know. Are you about to place your other wing, or no? You're just
a couple stitches.
You're just investigating your first wing right now.
Yeah. Well, I've got my other wing in. I'm just trying to make sure.
Where were phone cameras when we needed them long ago? Mary wants to know. That's a great question, Mary. Although many of the photographs that I was looking at, they were definitely like disposable camera photographs.
Oh, yeah.
And those have been kind of in vogue. If you have the right kinds of friends at the right kind of event, like all of a sudden I thought, after I looked at those photos today, I thought I should have had disposable cameras on the table at your 40th birthday party last summer.
Oh.
Like that would have been a cool thing to do, you know?
I suppose.
We've seen people that do weddings where they have. If you've been to a wedding recently where they've put disposable cameras out on the table, you can drop that into the chat, or at least for kids. Like I saw one wedding in particular where it was like they gave the children
kids,
disposable cameras. I forget whose wedding that was.
I don't remember either.
I don't either. They might not even want us to talk about that on the internet. But the photos were really, really fun and really cool. Yeah. So yeah, we had a lot of disposable camera photos, which I guess was like the original smartphone camera.
Pretty much. Okay.
Now, when I'm stitching this over here, can I even ask this question?
What are you asking?
I'm not going to stitch across the top, right? Because the top is when they get sewn together at the end.
Just like the wings.
Just like the wings. Okay, great. And I'm going to be smart, and I'm going to make sure that I bury my end inside this guy right now. Look at that. Holding the tail, and then I'm going to get going here. Yes. What a real professional. Look at that. Look at that. So I'm starting on my little tails over here. These little red guys over there. Coming right back. All right, no one has mentioned being at a wedding with a disposable camera recently, so I guess that maybe is it just an Ohio thing?
I don't know.
That's just a Midwestern thing.
Who was that gave kids cameras?
It wasn't Mitch, was it? Was it Mitch LeGros?
No.
That seems inaccurate.
I feel like my wings are not even, but you know what?
Keep stitching. Just keep stitching. Just keep stitching.
It's cute. It doesn't have to be perfect on both sides. It doesn't have to be exactly even on both sides. He's tilty a little.
Why don't you just show it for the whole, or show everybody to see. Like lay it down flat for a second, and people in the chat, when it catches up, they can tell us whether or not they think it looks uneven or crooked.
It's one stitch off, I think.
One stitch off.
It's fine.
Oh no.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's for us. Hi, Betty.
What's up, Betty?
All right, so I got back to this hole where the shell meets the yellow, and so I'm just doubling back and sewing back the other direction.
There it goes. Look at that.
Yep.
And by the time you're done to the other side, that's going to be the whole project. That's it.
Well, the shell needs to be done still.
Oh, the shell needs to be done still. I just didn't know. This is going to be one of the shorter stitch lives we've ever done. There may be some people who thought they were going to get to play more hooky from work today. So we didn't mean to disappoint you.
We have one more egg.
Oh, we have another egg to stitch?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I wanted to show the...
Maybe I am going to get this prize winner die done while we're here today. Maybe I'm going to get this thing knocked out today. Wouldn't that be cool, huh? I will not stop. I don't know where Miss Betty went. Our cat Betty has been spending a little bit more time downstairs.
She's over by the cabinet over there.
She's by what cabinet over where?
The one on the wheels.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I see her feet now. Yep. Oops, I think I have a roll of film I forgot to pick up from the Kmart in 2004. Be right back.
Is that Andy?
Andy does not have any film of it. You were always very prompt about picking up your film back in 2004. I don't think that's it. For sure. We used to get our film developed at the Rite Aid Pharmacy, I think is where our films got developed back in the day. Mm-hmm. That was the place to be. And if you're really fancy, you got to get doubles of all your photographs. Oh, yeah. You got to get doubles. If you were super splurging on the doubles. You were the first person I ever met in my life that got matte photographs. Me? Yes, that was absolutely. Oh man, that was one of the craziest things about you.
Personally,
when I met you, no, really, when I met you, we were just started dating, and like some photos came out, and it was like they were matte. It was like you might as well have been from another planet, as far as I was concerned. Like who on earth is getting matte photographs developed? It was absolutely one of the craziest things about you. So strange.
Sorry.
I met this girl. She gets her photos developed in like a weird way. I don't even know what it is. Like, what is it? They're like not shiny. I don't get it.
I like a matte photo.
Yeah, well, turns out you're the first person I ever knew that liked a matte photo.
I don't know what to say to that.
I don't know either. Mary Kobe always orders matte photos, it turns out. There
See?
you go. All right.
See?
There you go.
Good company.
I'm not the only one. Or you're not the only one.
I know.
Yeah, but Mary, when you
They
met your...
wouldn't offer it if nobody wanted them.
That's true. Now I want to know, though, if Mary Kobe's husband had ever gotten matte photos before they met. She's got to ask that poor man at dinner.
That's funny.
It's so funny. Hashtag gloss for life from Annie Newberry. That's great. Love to see it, everybody. Love it.
Oh my goodness.
Shari Moss also loves a matte photo.
Yep.
She didn't say she orders them. She just says she loves them.
I like them.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks.
I'm not alone.
This was you. This was your matte. This was like you were saying to me, I can show you the world. It's not shining and shimmering. It's matte photoed and splendid.
I'm not the Disney princess. I'm the street urchin that introduced you.
Mary says her husband's never taken a film photo. All right. Weird flex, but okay. That's great.
That's funny. All right. So we're done with the top half of our chick.
You got the whole top half of that chick done.
Yes.
Way to go. I did not cut enough thread for this.
Well, I've shown you my trick for cutting thread.
Well, there was not a lot of cardinal thread on your spool, and so I didn't want to go berserk with it.
Go berserk, bro.
I can't, bro, because all the other thread is in the barn.
No, it's not. There's some downstairs in my tote bag.
Oh, but that's still very far away. I don't want to leave the live. You're always finding ways to get rid of me. Plug in the glue gun. Go get the thread from downstairs.
And the glue gun is 2 feet away.
Got a lot on my plate over here.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Showbiz
right.
is not for everyone.
It's not, I guess. So now we've got the bottom half of the egg is open. We're going to start...
Oh, so you stitched just from the cracky part to the cracky part.
Yes. And then I'm going to stuff him a little bit.
Okay, and then you're going to stitch down with a different color, with white?
With white, yes.
Oh, wow. It's all happening. It's all coming together.
Yep. Well, you know. All right, so we've got some stuffing.
Okay, I got to put a time code in for how to stuff the egg at 41:54.
Didn't we stuff an egg last time?
You think that I'm not going to be comprehensive with my time codes?
All right. Okay, fair point. All right, so I'm going to just put some stuffing in there.
Every one of the time codes ends with an exclamation point, by the way. Spoiler alert, everybody.
I don't know if...
There's a lot of joy in those time card descriptions.
Time codes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're not going to stuff him too much because we don't want him to look over bloaty.
Well, if he was stuffed too much, he wouldn't be just hatched. He would be an egg. The egg is stuffed. Once the bird is hatched, the stuffing is coming out. Am I right? I mean, it's the birdie that's stuffing the egg after all.
I suppose.
If you think about it.
If you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Again, didn't pre-thread this one either, so sorry. I was mostly worried about all the little bits in the beginning, not so much the bigger bits here.
I don't know how you can stitch these without having to look at both sides of the felt to make sure that you're in the hole all the time.
Practice.
Because I am like, I spend so much time just like brute forcing it through things that are not holes that when I get to this part, which is going to be seen on both sides, I'm like, ooh, slow down, make it look nice, would you?
Practice.
I guess, yeah.
Practice makes perfect.
The felt is like, the felt is so tender and the needle is so sharp that I'm just, woof.
You could use tapestry needles if you wanted.
Are those blunt needles again?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just call them blunt needles?
I'm so sorry. You could use blunt needles if you wanted.
There you go. Well, that's my cross stitch roots, you know what I mean?
It is.
Shari, I want to know, are you using sharp needles or blunt needles when you're doing your felt stitching projects? Help me, Shari, tell me. Mary, anybody else, blunt or sharp needles? Let me know in the chat.
All right, so I just came between the edges there, or the side.
Uh-huh.
On the side, and I'm just going to start sewing up a running stitch. I'll probably stop and add a little bit more fluff here at some point.
How much fluff would you say you added?
Oh, not a whole heck of a lot.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how to measure.
Quantify it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, you could give it to me in tablespoons. I'm a real foodie.
I guess it was like
I'm a real foodie. Half a cup? Shari uses blunt. She only uses a sharp one if I'm having to stitch where there is not a pre-cut hole. Okay.
All right. I apparently just enjoy stabbing my fingers because I use sharps for everything. But I do give Tilly tapestry needles when...
That's right. Ooh, yeah, Tilly does. I just got myself there.
Did you?
Only a little bit. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's what keeps you awake a little bit if you're using the sharp needles.
I'm usually sewing at night, and I don't need to be kept awake at night. At night is when I thrive.
That's true.
It's during the day. If I were sewing like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, forget it. You might as well just stick a needle in me. Cause
Mary is also using blunt needles. Wow, no one else in the chat has spoken up to say if they're on team. Matt got tired of hearing me say "ouch" is what Shari says about the needles there. Yeah.
I don't usually stab myself too much. I got myself good last night once, but
when people are doing embroidery that's not in stitching dies, are they using sharp needles or they're using blunt needles for that? I don't have a clue.
Embroidery is sharps because I use embroidery needles is what we sell, and they're all sharp.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, reaching for fluff. Crinkle,
that's okay.
Crinkle.
Oh yeah, I don't have a plastic bag to crinkle this week because there's no color story.
Well, because I took the bags away for you this morning.
I'm playing chicken over here with my thread, no pun intended, as I'm getting to the end of this thing.
All right, I'm just going to add a little extra stuffing. A little extra there.
Okay, look at that. He's coming together nicely.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Needle felting was the worst, is what Mary Kobe says. Oh, Joanne says she likes sharp needles with a big... That's like the biggest smiley face she could find.
I like the sharps.
Like the sharps, huh?
I prefer them.
Shari has some very sharp ones. She used to put binding on a quilt and there was a lot of stabbing. Yow!
Yeah.
Yow!
Anytime I have little extra polyfill threads sticking out the sides, I just trim them off with scissors.
Oh.
That way I don't have to worry about getting every little last fiber in there. I just trim them off when I'm finished. Which is handy. Because, there's always something sticking out.
I've almost got this whole part of the ribbon stitched up.
Nice.
It would be nice, except I just noticed how much I bailed on this whole stitching hole earlier today. Look at that.
I just lost my thread again here.
That's okay.
I'm not using my favorite needle right now.
Oh no.
I know.
That's my fault. Did you all hear that? That was a jab.
No, it wasn't. I left my favorite needle with the blue thread because we're going to put eyes on the other chicken.
Oh, you're using your favorite needle today is what you're using exclusively for beading.
Well, I like that one because it's got a smaller eye on it. Which makes it... We don't sell that size because they're harder to thread. And I don't want to frustrate people. But I like the smaller eye because it works well for beading. Yes.
I pulled my thread out thinking that I was done and found there was actually one more hole that I was supposed to stitch.
Well.
Which for a guy with eyesight like mine is a little frustrating.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm good. I'm good there.
Speaking of, I went to the eye doctor for the first time in 35
my gosh.
years.
Stop back, everybody. This is a true story. Lizzie last week went to the eye doctor for the first time in 35 years. Can you believe that? And guess what? 2020. She's good to go. Don't at her.
My only ever vision screening was like in kindergarten. I don't know if they even still do vision screenings like this. It was like kindergarten where they give you the paddle and they tell you to, look at the chart.
I'm sure they're still doing that.
I don't know if they still do it that way or not, but that's how they did it in 1990 or 89. And so yeah, the went to the eye doctor because we gotta make sure our eyeballs are working and make sure all of our other parts are working. And turns out,
Victoria says size 26 blunt needle, so it goes through seed beads.
oh,
That's what she's talking about over there. That's great. Mary Kobe says that she is jealous. I presume that she means the fact that you've not been to the eye doctor in so long.
I don't know.
Or don't need to go to the eye doctor.
It was a surprise to. Well, I told Sean, I'm like, you're gonna be mad if everything I've been saying for years is the truth.
No one's mad about.
He was a little jelly, I think.
No.
Yes.
No, really, not at all jealous. Just glad you went. Okay, I can't find the thread that I started stitching with.
Yes.
To tie this off, it's like buried in there. I can't find it.
But you're supposed to hold on to your tail, sir.
You don't hold on to the tail all the way through the end of the stitching.
I make sure that it exists.
And how do you do that? You leave it flopping out?
Yeah.
Oh boy, what do I do?
You gotta let your tail flop, bro.
No. That didn't happen. You didn't just say that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You gotta let your tail stick out.
I hope people are still blown away by the vision thing. They missed that part. Okay, now you gotta let your tail stick out. You don't just hold it?
No, you gotta let it stick out. You gotta leave it long enough that it stays visible.
Oh my gosh.
So that way you can tie it off.
It's in there forever, man. It's not coming back.
Well.
Okay, I guess I'm just gonna snip that end.
I guess.
Where are the scissors?
Here.
Ow!
I was short on thread myself, so I'm gonna add some thread here so I can finish off my chicken. Here, I gotta put this on my lap for a second.
Rookie mistake, Sean. Victoria, so savage from across the pond. Lizzie, must have been a long day for Victoria. She's punchy. She's punchy over there on the other side of the international date line. Okay, hang on a second. Yeah, what am I going to do? And I got to figure out if I have to tie it off to something, otherwise it could come unraveled.
Don't want
and
that.
be unraveled forever, yeah. Who would want that? Okay, stitching it back up just to tie it off. Oh boy. Okay, here we go.
Alright, so I've got my...
Yeah, what are you doing over there?
I had to add thread because I had just cut my thread a little too short. Whenever you're cutting, or whenever you're sewing through 4 layers of felt, it always takes more time.
It uses extra thread because you're going through so many layers. Yeah, I can understand that. You're talking about the depth there.
Yep, and I sometimes forget how much extra you need. There we go.
Being so extra right now.
I know.
Okay, I looped it through one thing of thread, which, you know, hopefully will keep it buried in there forever, and I'm going to loop it through a second one, and we might just call it good from there.
Okay.
Okay, there's the saga of Sean's thread is, I think, coming to a close. Saga!
Yeah, we're almost done with this chick.
LOL, I just came on. I have to watch from the beginning. I just love you. Oh, Carol just made her hatchling on Sunday.
Oh, fun!
That's great, Carol. I'm glad you did that. That's amazing.
I like these little chicks. I think they're cute.
They are super cute. When I get to grab one off the shelf and put it into somebody's order, I'm like, oh, these people get it. The little cute little eggies. You all get it. Sorry, everybody gets it, but you know.
I haven't done these as ornaments yet. I just did them on this. I did them on this garland last year.
See you later, Andy. He's got to go off to 2 other childhood friends' live streams now.
Nice. All right, so here at the end, I'm coming between the layers again.
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to tie it off, and then I will hide the knot. And I'll eventually do that with the bottom too, but I want to get to the other chick.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I'm going to hide the knot on the side. I'm not going to worry about the knot on the bottom right now because I want to get to the other chick.
What knot on the bottom?
This one that I had when I added on thread.
Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yes. So I'm pulling my needle between the 2 layers.
Uh-huh.
And then just pulling it on through.
Scissors are right there, right underneath something that I cover them up with.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And then pull and snip. And same thing on the other
Good to go.
Just gonna pull it in there. Must have pulled funny there because it's a little.
Okay, now I'm going to show my work on this next one. I've come between the layers and I'm leaving this thread exposed.
Yes.
So that I can tie it off later, okay?
Yeah.
Victoria, everybody? Okay, I've got it set up just right.
All right.
I'm going to pull it through like that.
There's our little chick fella.
Get out of here. I have to stop sewing. Look at that.
Look at him.
He's looking great.
He's
There's your
cute.
just hatched.
There's my little feathered.
You're holding him up in the air. Yeah, you got to flatten him out a little bit. There we go.
There you can see his. Sorry.
There.
You can see his
Perfect.
feathers.
And you say you have another one for us?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So on the sample that I showed last year when I made this,
Uh-huh.
I made a garland, and I've got the whole garland here, but it's too big to show all at once. It says Hello Spring, and I put letters in the cracked openings. But you can also make it look like a chick peeping through the window. See?
Oh, this is with the egg window die.
Yes.
Oh, when I
Well,
asked
no,
you
it's not the egg window die. This is part of the just hatched.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So the egg window die creates like a scallop
Uh-huh.
look, and this is like a raggedy, cracked version of that same.
Got it.
deal.
Okay, I'm getting all caught up now on a piece
So-
of home decor that's been in my house.
It's these two pieces here that are part of the just hatched die.
The two pieces, one makes the outside edge and the other one die cuts the holes.
One makes the opening in the egg.
Uh-huh.
This one here creates the cut line on the inside and the holes around the outside.
Uh-huh.
So it creates like a frame. And then this piece creates the layer
Oh.
that you then sew to that frame. And then I use the face and the beak to create those little details. So it looks like there's a chick who's working on hatching, but he's not quite there yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. So this is, I've got to add a time code here. This is, we start stitching. How would you describe the differences between the two different dies there? The two, ornament with the what parts?
What?
Well, there's clearly two distinct different just hatch eggies that you make out of this. What would you call this eggie versus the other hatched eggie? You know what I'm saying?
Spring peeper?
Oh boy.
I don't
Okay.
know.
I don't know. Okay.
I don't know. It's just another chick.
We start stitching the second variation of the just hatch
Yes.
die. The second
Sure.
variation.
Sounds great. I need some white thread. So I'm just going to go around. Again, this is just, you cut using this die. Here we go. This has the cut line on the inside
Uh-huh.
and the holes along the outside.
Uh-huh.
So you would take a whole egg, place this, die cut a second time, and you get this.
Got it.
Yes. So, and then you sew the layer, which you get with this die,
Yeah.
because it all matches up with the holes.
Okay.
You just sew, I'm going to use a running stitch,
Sure.
and then you can sew the two eggs together
Okay.
at the end to create just like a chick peeping through
That's
that
great.
hole there.
Well, we have about 30 minutes
Well, then I will be as
stitching off there.
swift as possible.
This is great. Of all the stitching lives we've done, this is, in some ways, this is the most kind of die cut instructional piece that we've gotten here, I think.
Yeah, I feel like there are some like tips and tricks that I have about all the different dies, and often I include those things in like the introductory posts.
Uh-huh.
But
The blog posts.
Yes.
Yes, on the Pashta blog, which can be found at www.pashta.com.
yes,
And then you can just click the link at the top of the page that says blog.
yes.
Uh-huh.
I include a lot of these like tips and tricks and details, but not everybody has the time to read, or they don't remember where they read the tip, or whatever, and so
Or they're like me. They're sitting next to you during the instruction and they still can't figure it out when they try to do it themselves. Maybe that's also you.
So,
Marisha says hi.
hi!
Happy Tuesday to you too.
So I figured these lives would be a good opportunity to share some of those tips and tricks that I've shared in the written form before, but not.
So these eggies usually do not have the wings with them.
What do you mean?
Like you wouldn't, would you stitch a wing to the side of this particular?
No.
Usually
this one I'm not going to add wings.
You're not adding any wings to this one.
No, it's just going to look like there's a chick who's like, he's on the struggle bus, you know? He's like, I know that the outside world exists, but I can't quite get there yet.
Maybe he's not on the struggle bus. Maybe he's just thick-shelled.
Or he likes to be warm.
He just likes to be warm.
He's like, I'm not ready yet.
Or maybe he likes the way the egg looks.
Yes. He's like Sheldon from Garfield.
Oh, okay, Sheldon. Is that? Oh, yeah. I'm more familiar with Peanuts. Is Sheldon walking? Is that the character he walks around with the egg?
Yeah. No, he is the walking egg. So
he doesn't just. Oh, okay.
It's just an egg that walks around.
I had forgotten about Sheldon. I've been rereading Peanuts. I've been getting from the library like the collected edition of Charles Schulz's Peanuts and taking it to read at dance classes. Because I don't want something that I have to really pay attention to, but I also don't want to be just staring at my phone the entire time. So I'm in that world. I'm not in the Garfield world right now. Okay, so Sheldon.
I remember as a child, I really loved it. My grandparents had like a bunch of the full anthologies. So anyway.
Of Garfield?
Mm-hmm.
Which grandparents?
Irwin.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, they're cat people, so.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
So I'm just going to add a couple more beads for eyes here. I came up through the hole and I'm going to go back down through the same hole. The beads are big enough they don't pop through the holes.
Okay.
And then I'm pretty much just going to anchor them to each other because unlike other places where I have beaded things, they're sort of out in the wilderness by themselves. So I'm just going to anchor them to each other. So usually I tie off individual beads, but in this case I am not.
Oh my gosh, it finally happened.
Stop.
I've been waiting a lifetime.
A lifetime.
Well, Lisa, stitching lifetime. I know people at home feel the same way. You can circle your calendar.
They're hilarious.
Lizzie did 2 beads on 1 run of thread, everybody, today.
Indeed.
Way to go.
Indeed, I did.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm great.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, this bad boy.
Ooh. I think that's our second bad boy of the day.
So.
I don't know if anybody else is at home tracking the bad boys.
He's just peeking through like that.
Look at that. What a wacky guy.
What a wacky guy.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just going to do a running stitch around all the pieces.
Knock me over with a feather, Mary says. Very apropos, Mary. Very apropos.
I have a bag of them around here someplace.
Slippery slope, Lizzie. Slippery slope. Victoria asked earlier if I had enough thread to finish this one. And Victoria, I actually had enough thread the last time to finish the other one. It worked out okay. And so therefore...
He just lost his tail.
Therefore, I have enough thread to do this one because it's just the other half of the thread that I snipped. Yeah. So, boom. Roasted.
Oh,
ready to rock. I'm coming back now on this little guy. Getting so much accomplished.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
It gets a little wiggly on you at first because the frame is a tad bit more delicate than a full egg. So you've got to make sure that everything's lined up properly. Otherwise, you're going to end up with your window all askew.
Wait, what's getting difficult? What are you trying to line up here?
Because the frame is delicate.
Oh.
If you don't make sure that your holes are lined up, it'll get all wonkety on you.
Got it. Okay. So particularly important in this kind of yeah, because it's not until you get the 2 pieces connected together that you really have a whole solid piece there.
Right, exactly.
She meant Victoria. Now you've got Victoria. Poor Victoria's got to clarify. She meant a long enough end left to nut off and then hide. Yes, and look, I still have it. I'm going to lean all the way into this bit. Look at this. I still have my thread. Okay, it's all going to work out great.
I definitely don't have something lined up properly.
This is going to work out great. Coming through.
Something's wonkety. Like I said, you got to make sure you keep your holes all lined up.
You've been taunting me, and now your egg is off.
I'm not
off a
taunting
little bit.
you. Where is I'm not taunted.
No, I don't think there's been any taunting. No, you're right. No one came to the live today to watch us argue.
I'm not arguing.
It's always a little spicier when I'm stitching along because I'm under duress. I'm under stress trying to stitch at the same time. Under duress, yeah.
Generally speaking, if you line up a couple of points, it goes better. But for some reason, I am just having a time with this.
Yeah, I've yet to line up anything anywhere near as complicated as an egg or anything like that. You know, like the first thing I did was 2 weeks ago, I stitched that business card holder, and that's just as rectangular as... Oh, Carol said she used some sewing clips when she was trying to align hers. Oh. That's, you know what? That's a pretty smart idea right there.
That is very smart. I like to do things the hard way sometimes, it seems.
Sometimes, huh?
Often.
Well... All right, some sewing clips. That's a great tip.
Yeah, it is. They're like little guys.
Yeah, I never saw any sewing clips until I was watching sewing videos on YouTube to do stuff with Tilly. I was like, oh, look at these things. Like, people aren't using pins; they're using like clips.
Not using pins.
Oh, Shari also uses some sewing clips.
That's very smart. Usually, when I'm sewing where I normally sew, which is directly at my face, it's much easier for me to keep things lined up. When I have my arms outstretched a little bit, like I do right now.
Yeah, when you're under duress.
I tend to struggle a little more. I'm not under duress.
Well, that makes one of us, sister.
Oh, boy.
All right, clips. Okay.
Well, perhaps...
We're talking about those, like, quick-release spring-loaded clips that I've seen, right? Yeah, that people have stopped using, like... The clips are really great for holding the statement alphabet letters.
Oh.
Shari would like you to know.
That is good to know.
Particularly great for holding the letters.
Speaking of statement alphabet.
Yes?
Shari mentioned to me that she did a video with the Garden Trimmings.
Uh-huh.
And she just finished the voiceover, and she plans to have it up on her YouTube channel.
Oh, that's great.
Shortly.
That's great. So Shari did a little voiceover work.
Yes.
Voiceover work is harder than it looks, isn't it?
It is.
Harder than it looks?
I don't particularly care for it. I always end up writing myself a script, and I stumble over my words, and then I have literally 400 clips by the end of a video because I had to stop and start and edit and stop and start and edit.
Mm-hmm.
So more power to her. But she did mention that she was going to do a video, and she has got the voiceover done, so she's going to be getting that up on her YouTube soon. So I hope you'll keep an eye out for that because Shari is awesome, and I'm sure that it is a very helpful video.
She said she's had lots and lots of practice. I think she's implying that she's had to redo them a lot because there's lots of laughing face emojis there.
Well,
or maybe she's just done lots and lots of voiceover
She
work.
has done lots of videos too, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Where did the white go?
I haven't touched the white thread.
It's right here.
I've used yellow and red. And I'm rethreading my needle right now because I went through the wrong hole. Oh, laugh it up.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing in understanding.
Lots and lots and lots and lots of videos, Shari says. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
No. Video is not my favorite thing to do, which is why these lives are such a great kind of compromise, because I know people want video, but I'm, generally speaking, not a big fan of doing them, and so this way people get to see things in real time and get some additional tips and tricks, but I am not chained to my computer doing a bunch of editing because that sort of thing makes me want to cry. So, not cry. It's just not my favorite.
I'm really sweating the amount of thread I have over here, so that's why I've gotten real quiet.
You're fine. It's cool. Just let me stumble over myself. It's great. It's great. I'm kidding. It's fine.
I obviously have more tail on this one than the last one. That's what's happened to me here.
Oh, on the front end.
I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got it threaded again. Okay. I'm like 6 stitches to go.
Okay. I'm not going to make people watch me do this whole egg. I just wanted to get through
this layer there?
Through this layer so you guys can see how it comes together.
Oh, thanks, Mary. That's very kind. She loves the lives.
I'm glad.
They certainly have their own vibe about them, don't they?
do.
They definitely have a different vibe, and which was purposeful. There's a part of us that are like, let's do something different. Let's do some videos that the craft world has never seen before. What we need first is a bald man and a beard and a salty disposition. That's what we need first. And then we're going to make him stitch. That's what we need. That's what's going to break. We're going to break this thing wide open. Ow. Ooh, dang a loop.
Gotta watch your fingers.
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm getting you that pack of tapestry needles that I have for Tilly mix.
Nope. That's not. Nope. I can take it if you can take it.
I am not the one stabbing myself in the fingers.
I got one stitch to go. What happened there? What is that? So I go through the other thread. I went through the other thread. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay.
Anywho.
Okay, there I did it. I made it to the end with just the most tiny amount of thread possible. And I'm happy to say that both my tails are present and accounted for.
Nice.
And so now, even though that one stitch at the very end looks a little wackadoo, oh, there we go. Ah, nicey nice. Okay, I'm going to tie this bad boy off. Great. Third bad boy. It's 3 bad boys at least.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. If we get to 5, you go get a scratch-off lottery ticket. If we get to 5, you go get a scratchy lotto, and you just see what happens. Just see what happens.
Now, you could go around a second time, or I will go around a second time, but at least you can see here's where what our little egg ornament will look like. So there are a couple of different styles that you can get with the just hatched. Like here's the letter that I mentioned before. Here's the egg that I did last year. Here's this egg here, and then or this chick here, and then there's this chick.
All those options. That's great.
Yeah. All of these different looks from the one die.
Mary's just described this as the Big Bang Theory of the stitching world. Fun with felt. And Marisha says, thanks for including instructions with the die. She received another order the other day. Love the Garden Trimmings die. We also love the Garden Trimmings. Yeah, that's great.
I'm super pumped about that one personally because I like being able to dress up the letters.
Very elegant, very beautiful, but also very simple. Like a lot of little simple shapes that come together to do something that's really cool at the end.
Well, yeah, because what was it? When I did the ampersand.
Showing my work there. Look at those guys. Look at those guys. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I dressed up the ampersand with a bunch of the florals from the Floral Heart, which will also be back soon. I was like, this is really cute. I like the way that this looks. I want to make a die that does this for people, but with pre-done, preset designs, so they don't have to mix and match and think about it too hard unless they really want to.
And thus, Garden Trimmings was born. That's the origin story of Garden Trimmings.
Indeed it is.
Indeed it is.
And I like it.
No. What's my... I know I'm not going to get started with my next step over here because I don't think we have time
for... Well, no, and I can finish this at any time.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of what is my next step. You have to tell me. I don't remember.
Your next step is probably putting on the back, and I don't have a pin for you yet. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. But no, the front is... You stitch a bunch of these layers together, right? It was this and
one of those.
And then you get one of these like that.
No, you've got the yellow goes between the red and the black.
In case you haven't watched Prize Winner, or maybe if you have been live while making the Prize Winner die and you still don't know what you're doing, that's what we're discussing right now. Okay, so the panel with the 11s.
Yes.
Goes
on top of the black.
On the black, and then that goes onto the yellow panel.
Yes.
And then the red panel is behind it.
Correct.
All 4 of those layers at once.
Yes.
And I'm going to stitch through all 4 of those layers at once with little rosette guys like this.
Folding down.
As I go along. Okay, and that'll leave this outer edge of circle there to stitch through. Mm-hmm. And the outer edge of circle only gets stitched to this little light of mine, this other
outer edge of circle, yes.
And I do that after I've put the back on here.
Your yellow circle,
and the only thing that's going through the inner line on the back is just the yellow part like this.
Correct.
Okay, I'm good to go. I'm ready to rock.
But there's going to be a pin in there. You need to put your pin in too.
Oh my gosh. Barbara says she loves Fun with Felt and The Big Bang Theory. Mary Kobe, my dad's name was Leonard and he worked at JPL, so I lived
Oh my god.
The Big Bang Theory. That's pretty remarkable.
That's pretty
and
funny.
Carol just wanted to know, do you think the garden trimmings will fit on the basic egg?
Some of them do, for sure.
Some of them do fit on there for sure, okay? I say I lobbed that one over to you like we were playing pickleball or something.
In fact, I think on the inspiration guide that comes with the garden trimmings, on the second page, there are several other shapes that I suggest that you can use with the garden trimmings.
Okay.
And the egg, I think, is one of them.
It's one of them. Shari's there too. She says, yeah, Carol Martin, if I had the inspiration guides on this laptop, perhaps I would go looking for them.
It's not on that one.
I guess garden trimmings is here. But yes, the short answer, Carol, is yes.
Well, because there's also, so there's the like 5 big-ish designs, but then there's also a couple of little sprigs. So you can build your own too.
You can totally build your own, and now that means we're up to 12 dies that coordinate in some way, shape, or form.
I'm sure there's
with our basic eggs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
sure.
When you did their first original releases in 2020 and 2021, those were Christmassy, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I still have this here. So like this one would fit.
Oh,
if
yeah.
You look at the egg, and so that one I would think would fit.
I was just getting around to saying that after you did Christmas, was Valentine's the first branch out, or eggs were?
Easter was.
Easter was. So the very first products that you designed that were not Christmas products were Easter products.
After Christmas, after like the rush of Christmas, I was a little brain fried. And so I did, for that first Valentine's Day, I did some color stories, but I did not do dies. And so then when I went to do Valentine's Day, it was after I did eggs. Eggs were the first thing.
The egg is not in stock now. I'm putting this in the chat.
It will be.
Yeah, we expect a significant part of the web store to be restocked just after mid-March.
Yeah.
And that's I don't know if that's breaking news.
I don't want to give a specific date because I don't want stuff to get caught in customs and then have people disappointed if things don't show up on a particular day. But we are expecting them mid-month. So we will absolutely, as soon as, if you're signed up for notifications, you'll get a restock notification as soon as we put stock in the web store. But even otherwise, we'll probably send out a newsletter too. Just in
absolutely.
Case,
we're getting close. It'll be here before you would have. Today's already the 4th.
Yeah,
it's already the 4th of March.
Yeah. Just
blazing through March.
Yeah, we're hoping it'll be another couple of weeks.
We're back in stride, back in the saddle.
Yes. We are trying really hard, I promise you. And we want things to be back as much as you do. We're both just sort of looking at each other going, the shelves are getting emptier.
Are you about to stitch something else, or are you at a good stopping point, or what's going on?
I'm at a good stopping point. I was just continuing because we were chatting, so.
That's great. Well, let me put it back on to just you. We're gonna come to a close here, it seems, this afternoon. Bloop, bloop, bloop. I gotta turn your picture-in-picture off. There you are.
There I am.
Put the screen back. Oh, there's nothing on the screen. Push something into the corner of that, would ya?
Oh.
Come on, act like you've done this before.
I'm sorry.
Okay, hang on a second. Oh, look! Look, there are eggies there now.
There's eggies now.
That's great. And we sort of came to an abrupt close there, everybody, but we kind of got to the end of this thing. Look how many time codes we had in there. So if you've watched this long, you don't need them. But look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8. 8 little tutorial moments in that show today.
Cute little.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so we're just we're trying to iterate and get better and better every time we do these things.
Yes,
yeah,
that's the goal.
That's the goal. We hope you guys have a great day.
Yes.
We'll see you next Tuesday once again.
Yes.
I don't recall what we're doing next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, because Pie Day,
Oh boy.
314, is next week.
Oh boy.
We're going to do the By the Slice banner die. So we'll have some different slices of pie to share.
We will stitch live with the By the Slice banner die. That's great. 3.14.
That's right.
I don't know any of the decimal points after that.
I don't either.
I don't either. Someone is going to be...
any opportunity for pie is, you know.
And if anybody in the chat tries to do pie past those numerals, we'll just know you're cheating because we can't see you saying it. We just know you're typing it. So you're probably cheating.
Copy and paste.
That's great. Okay, everybody. That
All
seems
right,
like a great place to